This Ben and Jerry story is getting out of hand. Like, I've seen it to begin with, okay? Here's the post in question. The United States. They sent this out on the 4th of July, right? On Independence Day. The United States was founded on stolen indigenous land. This is an ice cream company, by the way. This 4th of July, let's commit to returning it. To who exactly? How far do you want to peel this stuff back? Do you want to give it to the original holders of the land? Because then you got to try to trace it back from who stole it from who, and then you just put that on top of who. But hey, man, at least when we're talking about Manhattan, we know exactly what the deal was there because it's been well recorded. And hey, guess what? Shiny trinkets and a bottle of whiskey. Hey, it worked all the way back in the 1400s. And some reservations, it still works today. Ben & Jerry's has called on the U.S. to return stolen indigenous land in a bold 4th of July message. Taking to social media, the ice cream company divided fans over its Independence Day post. It's like, okay, I seen that and it's like, okay, cool. Ben & Jerry's has been doing dumb activist shit for a long time, and it's not even, at least to my recollection, not even their first anti-American tweet on Independence Day, so I didn't really think anything of it other than, oh, okay, commies commieing over there. Whatever, man. They're out of touch idiots from Vermont. Okay, cool. You sell overpriced sugar cream. Whatever, bro. Whatever. United States was founded on stolen indigenous land this 4th of July. Let's commit to returning it. You first. You first. In a similar message on its website, the company argued that the 4th of July festivities and celebrations can distract from an essential truth about the nation's birth. Oh my god, whatever, bro. It's like the guilt trip that the government tries to play on Canadians on Canada Day, July 1st. Oh, think about all of those indigenous kids and those mass graves that were found under those residential schools. How many bodies have been recovered in the past 2 years since they've been trying to make that story stick? Oh, 0. Hilarious. Ben & Jerry's proposed to start with Mount Rushmore. No. Start with your own place. Fix. What's that old saying? Address the log in your eye before you talk about the speck in your neighbors. Oh, Vermont. Vermont was one of the original 13 colonies. My mistake. It was the first bonus colony that was drawn out a little bit. Okay. Had to double check that. It sounded correct, but close enough. But okay, it started with, yes, let's start with Mount Rushmore. Writing, what is the meaning of Independence Day for those whose land this country stole? Those who were murdered and forced with brutal violence onto reservations. Those who were pushed from their holy places and denied their freedom. You sell frozen desserts with floor sweepings mixed into it. What are you even talking about? The faces on Mount Rushmore are the faces of very prestigious men. All right, no, okay. Men who actively work to destroy indigenous cultures and ways of life, to deny indigenous people their basic rights. Like what, the right to put up a teepee in the middle of the park? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Old message received mixed responses, like their ice cream, with many calling for boycotts of the brand and a move that echoes the aftermath of Bud Light's recent partnership with trans model Dylan Mulvaney. More on that in a second. It seems like Ben & Jerry's is looking to face similar pushback if Twitter responses are anything to go by. Yeah, and see, this is where I wasn't entirely convinced because, yes, if you go through any of the social media posts, any of the activism that Ben & Jerry's has done, okay, they were very prominent during Black Lives Matter, the Summer of Love in 2020, making a George Floyd flavor, which I don't know how you can make knives, fentanyl, and pregnant women into a vanilla swirl, but you do you, I guess. I think their OG form of activism was having a Colin Kaepernick flavor. I don't know, what was it called? Balls in the dirt? Anyways, among the critics is country singer John Rich, who has been an outspoken figure in the wake of the Bud Light drama. All right, what did he have to say? Make Ben & Jerry's Bud Light again. It could use a little longer in the workshop, but okay. Meanwhile, another Twitter user wrote, just when you think Ben & Jerry's couldn't get any lower, they pull this stunt. Boycott Ben & Jerry's. Like, bro, it's so easy, okay? Like, the pint of ice cream. Like, it's always the most expensive shit whenever I walk down the frozen food section. Like, just for a pint of ice cream, like, I don't even have, like, an accurate assessment of how much the stuff costs. I just always think it's on and around $10 per pint. $8, $9, $10. And it's like, the store brand shit is like, $5, $4 or $5. Like, Why the fuck? Why would you support socialists? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, another called the ice cream brand the Bud Light of ice cream. But seriously folks, close shop, or better yet, donate your business and everything you own. Oh, in these lands that rightfully belong to the indigenous people, apologize to them and return to the continent your ancestors came from. Yeah, no, that seems completely fair. If that's what you're calling everybody else to do, wouldn't you, by logical deduction, have to eventually do that at some point in time? The first step is always the most difficult one, and to be a leader yourself, hey, you're calling for revolutionary change. Why not take that first step yourself? The company is known for taking stances on polarizing issues, yes, such as providing military aid to Ukraine. As co-founder Ben Cohen, why am I not shocked, donated more than $1 million to a group urging an end to the U.S. military support for Ukraine. How much money actually went down to the Ukrainian people, and what percentage was taken by both the United States industrial military complex or by Zelensky himself? Because those Prada shirts don't pay for themselves. Ben & Jerry also caused a stir, get it? Because it's ice cream, in 2021, when it announced it was putting a freeze on selling the ice cream the occupied Palestinian territory. A move that drew intense fury from Israelis, including PM Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay, well, stop trying to win me back. Cohen and Greenfield, of course, later filed a lawsuit against parent company Unilever. Oh, after the Israeli branch of Ben & Jerry's was sold at a local licensee. Oh my God. And you know what's actually... It's kind of funny that they mention Unilever right there, their parent company, which is hilarious. They want to go out there and they want to make all of these critical stances when it comes to these capitalist regimes and how they need to, tear down the system and return it back to the hippie fucking drum circle days. But you guys sold your company to one of the biggest multinationals, like one of the 5 companies that actually rule the world. Like the Mars Corporation, General Mills, Procter & Gamble, and Unilever. They're all right up there. I think Unilever might be the biggest one, but not so much. Not if we're to believe that there's going to be an actual knock-on effect from what Ben & Jerry's was talking about. Are people actually returning to patriotism? Is there something to be learned from that Bud Light situation? That's wild. Okay. So Unilever stock loses $2 billion amid calls to boycott Ben & Jerry's over tweet. Okay, is there any substance behind this, or was this just a shift from the company? Because that seems awfully quick. It's not like I'm hoping for a different excuse or a different explanation to this situation. I would love to see stupid companies have to pay the ultimate price. If there's actually going to be some responsibility for the people that are going out there yelling at the top of their lungs that they hate the country that they're from and they won't do anything personally to affect the change that they want everybody else to enforce. I love it. I do love it. So yes, Ben & Jerry's parent company has lost nearly $2 billion in market cap amid the boycott of the Vermont-based ice cream maker over a July 4th tweet condemning the United States on the existing on stolen indigenous land. Oh, just call them Indians. As a quarter feather myself, I'll give you the eye pass, for God's sakes. Wah wah. Shares of Unilever, the Anglo-Dutch multinational firm, slid 0.8% Thursday, after closing down 0.5% the previous day. The company's stock price has closed Thursday at $51.31, nearly $1 below its closing price of $52.28 during Monday's shortened trading. The day before, Ben & Jerry's posted its unpatriotic tweet. The results have seen the market cap drop from $128.5 billion from $130.2 billion on Monday. Ben & Jerry's, which was acquired by Unilever, but whose board remains independent in voicing its views on political issues, said the 4th of July celebrations can distract from an existential truth. We already went through all of that shit as well. But yeah, man, that's the stuff that you guys just sell, right? Coned together. I guess that's a little bit political. Not so much, I guess, but there is a cow with a megaphone, and how would it just hold it? It'd just be all silly. It's too busy trying to chew its cud. But salted caramel brownie? I don't know. We should probably go ask some career boss babe, what wine pairs best with that. And then strawberry cheesecake. Okay, fantastic. You guys sell a fast track to diabetes. Stop making political messages without an actionable plan, you tards. On Wednesday, Unilever was called out for its hypocrisy over continuing to sell its Cornetto ice cream and other products in Russia in defiance of calls to exit the country over its invasion of Ukraine, while criticizing the United States. Yeah? What's the problem? Last year, Unilever's subsidiaries paid $331 million in taxes to the Kremlin, according to reports. Hey, you want to do business, you got to do taxes. Unilever has defended its decision to continue operations in Russia. It's like they're buying our shit. They want to buy it? Okay, cool. We'll go ahead and provide it. We don't need to make these political stances. I'm sure that upset Stalin and Lenin up there in Vermont. If the company pulled up stakes and left Russia, its 3,000 employees and its brand would be appropriated and then operated by the Russian state. Yes, they will seize the means of production, which will definitely put Ben & Jerry's in a very difficult position. It's like, do we condemn? Because ultimately that's kind of what we're advocating for, but never at our own factories, but it is under the umbrella, decisions. In addition, we do not think that it's right to abandon our people in Russia. Hey, shout out. Maybe somebody based is on the board, but that's not happening anywhere down the chain of command. Ben & Jerry's has been subject to prior boycotts over its refusal to sell ice cream in the Israeli settlement built on the West Bank. That's all right. It's not kosher anyway, so they wouldn't be buying it. But yeah, you do have a right of refusal. If you don't want to go ahead and sell anything anywhere, that's totally fine. That's within your own purview. What the fuck ever. And if you want to make those stupid comments like saying, yes, the United States was founded on stolen land, very original position you're taking. You also got to understand that there's going to be some people, a lot of Americans, that just aren't going to jive with your message. And there's this weird thing that I think you guys like to talk about all the time. There's freedom of speech, but not freedom of consequences. So guess what? If you want to fuck around, especially on the 4th of July, now you're finding out. And you know what you're finding out? That your unpatriotic sentiment isn't quite hitting the exact same way it did back when everybody was too scared to be called racist and sexist back in 2020. It's 2023, bitches. Catch up with the fucking times. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.